Hello everyone, welcome to TechQA channel. In this video we are going to see about API. So actually we have seen many videos and demos I have shown about API testing, but in this video I'm going to show what is API. I think last video I have talked about why API testing important. I think I have made in the Tamil maybe, so no worries. This video I'm going to show you a live demo what is API, how it developed. Even if you don't know, you don't worry about development, but you will get to know what are the layers in between API. So when we are triggering just a URL, what exactly happening, and so what else we can add a value when we are testing a API. So see, everyone, maybe this video will be helpful, one who doesn't know anything about API and he is just doing a UI manual testing nowadays and you want to learn API. So you will get a demo API or project API, you directly hit and validate the response whatever it's coming. But what exactly happening, how it interacting with the DB, if something goes wrong with API, where to check, and where and all we can validate, these thing we are going to see in this video. Okay, so for that I'm going to take a small form which is user creation. It just take a name and email. So as of now, just for a demo I have created. You can think this is a mobile app also if you want. Let me make it in the mobile screen. Okay, let's okay, just keep like this. This is a mobile app as well as web app. Okay, so the API using for mobile and web both can be same, because the API is developing, the objective of API development is for that only. We don't need to create a API for Android and iOS web, all like different 3 APIs doesn't require. It's just a one function which is user create. Maybe this API will show you. It can be used in web, mobile, Android, iOS, any platform. It's just a URL, right? So the first point is, like, all the platform API is same. That is the advantage of API. Okay, done. Next, so this form actual testing, what we will do, we'll just add a user that techie QA 123 and techie something like gmail.com. I'll just create it. Status user created successfully. So maybe some people have tried this concept, like going to a network tab. I went to going to a network tab and checking the API request. So there is a API, this localhost I'm using, and I'm using this last login, no worries. So payload, its username is this, and something like password is email. So preview and response, you got a success message, user successfully. Okay, so this is also like this also you have checked it, right? Instead of HTML page a response, you will get a JSON response in some API. Okay, in this one we are getting a HTML because it just created for a demo purpose. Just assume that this is a response. Okay, the request will be like this. Okay, some people even try to copy this as a curl and run from command line, something like a terminal, like, let me maximize. Okay, so even you got a response from that curl request, and the same thing you can move it to a Postman and you can try it out. So this and all, like from the web to the network, maybe out of 10 people, maybe 5 people would have tried this kind of API testing. From this API also you can create a collection and do a complete thorough API testing. Okay, so after that, next level, there is a API document they will provide, or else Swagger contract they will provide. So the Swagger contract will have all the information, including the URL, parameter, response types, valid and invalid response type, everything. So in the document, in this video, like, I'm going to show you, because I only have developed the API, so I have a URL for few URL. Let's open the Postman now. I have 4 URL, which is get user and put user, maybe post user, which is create user. Okay, I can this is a create user. This is after creating you will get the user which is created. Okay, so here is the URL and I'm going to create, maybe let me give jackie@gmail.com and send. User added successfully. Maybe this Jackie user might be added as a 5. Admin, because we have added from the UI, right? 6. Let's add 9, 10, 12. Jackie, yeah. So the user ID which we created, Jackie, is 13. We got the response from the API from the get user. Okay, and you can delete user also. So what I'll do, I'll delete a user using delete option and go to 13. I'll just try it out. Customer deleted. Let me get user. Customer not found. Okay, so that means, so see, this we have gone kind of a fast track. Let's come back. So the API is, this is for create user and get user and delete user. Okay, there is one more thing, put user. Put the same URL. Okay, the get user is 1. What is the user? It's saying dharma1@gmail.com, right? So what I'll do, I'll update it. I'll update from raw JSON dharma112 update. Customer updated. Update user also I'm trying it. First time I'm trying it. It should return 112. Yeah, okay. So the API, see, whoever new to the this API session, there is 4 major method we use actually. One is post to create new entry. I'll show you what exactly that is. And get, just get data from the DB. And delete, truncate some value, delete some data from the DB. And put is, there is a data in the DB, I just want to update the particular data, so that is for put. There is some more I think, while click, if you are using Postman, just see so many are there. Patch also sometime we use it, patch and option, but these first 4 are major one. Get, post, put, delete. Patch also similar to put. Okay, I'll tell you. If I want to tell you put and patch difference is like, if I don't want to send whole data in the post, I just send an email and update email value, means I'm going to use patch. So that API I didn't develop with this code. Okay, so these are the 4 API we have for testing purpose: post, get, delete, put. This API you can see, but you cannot try it in your local, because this is deployed in my local server, so it's not accessible outside. For the demo purpose, or if you want to try your own, I'm going to share you some URL in the description. Please look into it. Some dummy request raise, something like that, some API, dummy API URL I'm going to share you, so that you can try with that while testing with the Postman. By the way, I'll just highlight this also. The tool which I'm using, this is Postman. Okay, if you want to download Postman, just go to Postman download in the Google. There is a API, there is a website, Postman download. This is for complete new guys. I'm telling. Someone will not have seen before, like Postman, right? First time if you are seeing it. So this is the Postman website. You can directly download for Mac. I'm using Mac. It shows the Mac option. There is an option for Windows also. Okay, you can use desktop version as well as a web version. Sometime web version the request is not going, cloud is not working, better you install and use the client like desktop version, because they are encouraging that only. Okay, so download the Postman. This is the UI. That's this just for information. Let me close it. So I'm using a Postman. After download, open the Postman. You may have to log in with Gmail or something, then you will get this screen. Just click on it. You can add like this tab. Okay, overview come like this. Just close it. If it asks to create a my workspace, just click on it, and my workspace, there by default workspace. Then you can by click on new and click on HTTP request, it will open the new tab. After that you can just do plus, you can create. So that's how we have created 4 API. This 4 API I'm going to save it in a collection by just adding here. So what I'll do, I'll save this as create user in the new collection. Create user. This is get user. Maybe I can rename also if you want. Maybe customer collection. And this is a delete user. Delete user, save it. So by naming it, you like, if, for example, if you have just one collection, no, it will be very easy. You can you no need to save and you can keep it like that. But if you have multiple collection and in one collection multiple API, every time you have to navigate and see the URL. Otherwise it will be like very confusing. That for that only you have to spend a lot of time. This is for update user API. Okay, just for a reference and for our safety, our time saving, I just saved the collection, customer collection, create a customer. So saving collection is nothing like you have to create a collection, just new, you can create a collection. Okay, after that you have to just click on any tab and save. Okay, it will ask you to which collection you want to save, and you can give the name and save it. That's it. So I just used the shortcut Control S, that's why you are not able to see maybe. So here is the save button for anything. Okay, let me close this. So 4 API we have. What and all we are going to test as a create customer. If you have the requirement for creating a customer, the username should not exist 20 character and email should be in the particular right format. It should return, if you are putting at the rate, it should return that it's not added successfully. See, this is a demo API. Don't expect the validation because it's very simple code I have written. I'm going to show you the code also when it required. And name, if it is not what more than 10 character, what it should happen, if you are entering more than 10 character, it should say, it should not first of all create the user. Okay, but as of now it will work. So like this, how you will test on the UI, maybe how you will test this UI, whatever the validation you will put here, whatever the test cases you will apply here, everything you just assume there is a 2 parameter which is name and email. Forgot this UI. If you have only this API, the Postman API I'm talking, if the developer given this 4 API to test the user customer creation API, all 4 API, how you will do, how you will apply the test cases, that's what I'm talking. Okay, so all the test cases you will apply for name and email. So if similar way, like same as the web, so whatever the test cases you will apply here, the same thing you have to assume and apply all the data validation here itself while testing this itself. Create, and while getting the user, you have to check with the valid number, valid ID, invalid ID, deleted ID, updated ID. So it's all happening or not. Similar way you have to delete the existing one. Maybe if I try to delete 22, it's not there only. Okay, 22 will not be there, but it says, but because of test API it should not allow. If I put one I have I'm going to delete. Again, I'm trying to delete one means it should say it's not found. Okay, so that's so the get user we have seen, right? 134 something. I'm trying to get user, customer not found, something like that. It should add a validations. No worries, because it's a dummy API. It's just work like that. Actual API should not. So update user also same. If it is trying to use a different ID here, it should not update the user. Okay. Now let's go to while testing this URL, what actually happening. Okay, where this data will store. So everyone can answer where this data will store in the database. Has anyone seen the database while testing API? If you are, if yes, it's good. If not, then you are doing just one level of testing. That means just UI testing of API, just front testing of API. Okay, you are getting the response, but still, if there is a sync issue, if there is a async call, it will return the response, but it will not store in the DB at all. Okay, so for that, I'm going to show you a DB, what exactly happening. These are all my whole data. Okay, I'm using a Postgres DB for this demo purpose. So localhost database name is Dharma, and there is a schema, public schema. I have created a table called customers. In the customers, I'll just checking all the data here. So if you have only the API, I was telling, right, like you don't have any UI, they have given only the Postman collection. I'm just putting here Postman test @gmail.com. Is there anything in the DB? There is only 13. There is only 13 row. There is nothing like Postman user and all. Okay, after entering, after create user, it will say customer added. There is a two kind of validation you can do. One is that from here, anyway, it's not returning the ID, so I'll just check 13 is deleted one, so it says not found. Jackie we have added before, and Postman user should come now for 16. Okay, Postman test is the 16th user. This is one kind of validation. That means after create, use the get API to get it. Okay, that is one kind of validation, because once if it is saved on the DB only, it will return on the get API. Otherwise, it will empty. Even if you are getting the successful response, if you are not able to get from the get API, it's not stored on the DB, or else there is a issue in the get user. Get API itself, there is a bug, means what to do. That is the point. You have to check on the DB. Is it there on the DB? Postman user there on the DB. But if it is not coming on the get user API, then there is a issue with get user. You have to point out. Okay, I'm going to just for a delete, like just update it. 16 ID. I have to mention exact ID in the URL, and in the update call, I'll just put Shiva 123. So I'm updating the user detail from Postman test of the 16th user. So if we are going to get 16th user from Postman test 2, it should return Shiva. So it's returning the Shiva. So it's fine. Also, you can validate from the DB that updated. Okay, and I'm going to test API of delete the user ID 16. Just delete, customer deleted. I'm going to check with get API. If I put 16, it says customer not found. Also here, if it should delete, if it is not, then there is a bug. So it's deleted. Okay, so cool. So we have validated whatever we have done the action with the API. We have validated with the API, as well as we have validated with the DB. Also, DB, if you are getting the access of DB, there is a powerful validation. That means like you can check all the values, character 255, email is 255. But if the requirement has less, you have to check the requirement from the UI as well as DB. If the UI allow 20 character, if the DB allow only 18 character, then it won't insert only. Okay, so this kind of validation, this kind of data check and database validation also you can do while doing API testing and the DB level. Maybe you can check, you can tell this is a DB testing, blah blah blah, but this is testing. Don't segregate while doing stuff, otherwise you will be kind of doing only the UI and restricted to that only. After some days you will be thrown out of the team. That means you doesn't know anything about UI. So this is the actual feedback you will get it. Otherwise you will get the feedback of upgrade yourself to test DB and all. Okay, so don't restrict yourself. Don't think that is a different, this is different, to enjoy your comfort time. Okay, so API all four we have tested with this. So also there is a one more place you can check what exactly happening while testing. Okay, there is a terminal was there. Yeah, here I am running the backend API, right? This is the backend logs. If any issues, if anything, see 404, 404, 201, 404. This 404 is like I'm trying to get customer system which does not exist, so it written 404. So here you will get the logs of errors also. If any program error, if any code error, something like this. For example, see there is a code error. I have got it before. The line number 9, I have got my user does not exist. Something the developer by mistake they pushed it to the production like dev or stage, you will get that error. So this is another level of validation or finding the root cause, the logs, backend logs. Then where is front end? Front end, I'm running with one more project. Here is the front end. Okay, so front end also will have some kind of client level calls, which is bootstrap, login, HTTP, that root URL access, everything. And see the customer success. I'm just printing whenever the customer is added. And for example, what I'm going to do, let me refresh this page and try to create it empty. With empty value, if you do, what will happen? So that's what I want to check it. So it's please enter valid data and just see what happened with the UI project. So it didn't actually, there is no customer added, success message was not added. So this is a basic just two input box of my project code. Okay, I just used Python just to show demo I have created for myself. Okay, by using some existing project and all. And there is a backend. See, you can see here what is actually doing and what is post method. Just go and see, like if you're able to understand, it's good. Even if you're not able to understand, just read out. This is a Python, so anyone can just read and basic stuff they can understand. So I'm trying to connect the DB here. This is for pushing and getting the data. Okay, and next this is the customer module. The class name is customer. And create customer, this is just a select star from where ID, customer ID. This is a get call. What is exactly happening is select star from customer where ID. So whatever the ID you send, it will get the value and return. It will just show us a JSON. Okay, in the post call, after creating, you are not getting you are just getting a customer added only, right? That is because we are returning only customer added only. Okay, if you are actually what to say, if you are actually returning the response of customer ID also, we can add it here in the return. Okay, then put and customer ID is using update customer table. This is insert into table. So creating a new record, the put API using update call. So update customer set name is equal to whatever I am sending, and email is equal to whatever I'm sending in the JSON. So it will push to the, it will just execute the DB queries. So and delete also, let's see, delete from the customer where ID, whatever the ID I'm sending, it will delete. So indirectly, when we are triggering the API, there is a query running behind. Okay, this is actual API. You have to what you have to keep in mind. Whatever you are doing through API, it's actually behind the scene. There is a query or some queries running and getting the data from the DB or shorting the data from Elasticsearch or something and all for the new tech stack. So you just don't confuse with the new tech stack. Just let's go to traditional one. DB me. If you want to get call, it's actually running select star from query, and post call it's just inserting data into the table, and put call it's just updating the table with given information, and delete call it's just deleting the record by id given information. Okay, so this is the actual API code for this 4 API. Maybe with this you would have understand better. Like maybe uh, till now you haven't understood what happening, how they are written the code, blah blah stuff. Like even if you are not understanding the code, you can relate, right? So get APIs using select star from table query, and post API using insert query. So this you have to keep in mind whatever the API you are testing it. Okay, next we are what we are going to see is like we have seen the UI2 API, then API basics, then API validation from the get API, as well as the DB we have done. Also we have done the Postman call. Also we have seen the logs, which is backend log as well as front end logs. This is the backend customer API. Right. This is the front end log. So front end, front end also we can I can explain maybe small. What actually we are doing it, like we are using the core API, just creating we are using, right? So the API URL, I'm just sending the value as a JSON post, and data payload is nothing but whatever the value I'm entering in the form, username and password. That means I'm taking as a name and email and pushing to a API using a Python. Okay, if username password is not empty, it will trigger and create, otherwise it will ask you to enter the valid data. Okay, so the Postman, how we do, likewise we are doing it from the UI. Okay, if any issues related to form, the UI stuff, I have told you, maybe the previous videos I have told, if there is a bug on the project, first of all you have to check, is this UI bug or front end or back end, basically say, right? So why? Because it's actually two different projects nowadays. Before it's a monolithic project, they'll just bind everything at once, they run, but still there is a two developer, right? At least assign to them, you should know it's a front end bug or back end bug. So back end bug, sometime no need to, not required deployment of whole project like front end and all, we have to do from a tweak. Or if there is a DB level, which I told, there should be only character changes. So actual requirement is 20, here it's just 18, I can update only here, it will start work. Okay, the root cause is more important to fix it. So everywhere the end to end you have to touch it, from browser to DB, the data transmission. So where it is, from where it start, the transmission start from the UI and it end on the database. Okay, so where and all it's going, so it's going to a API call. From here I can see from the logs, after that it go to a DB. From getting from DB, like when we click get API, it will take from the DB, from throw API it will just print on the response get call. Okay, so this is the maybe data flow of API. We have seen UI, log, maybe UI, API, log, and then database. So this hierarchy you should remember. So I'll just once again come UI and the Postman API, and then backend logs, the final is database. Everywhere you should touch, you should know whatever the application you are testing, please get the KT, please get the information from the particular like person, developers. Even if I have heard, like when I was working first years, maybe initial days, early days, I can say, hey man, you are a QA, you may not know about the DB access, or you may screwed up something, or you may delete something. We are not kid, right? You simply, we don't delete, right click delete, right? So that you should take a responsible. You should be responsible, you should take a ownership. Otherwise, take the read only access for the DB. Once you are get hands on, you can get the right access also. Soon you may get a production access also. Whatever the issues you are getting, you can root cause. If you know all the phases, UI, API, log, database, after database there is a analytics. So whatever there tech stack there in the product, if you are aware of everything, it will be very easy for testing, very easy for getting the test ideas, test cases, everything, guys. Maybe I am talking a lot. So this is the conclusion. We have tested a API with all 4 layers. So if you really like my videos, please subscribe my channel and please share with your friends. If you do not like my videos, please put into comments. We can try to improvise as much as possible. Okay guys, also I'll put the dummy URL, demo URL of API, which is I'll show that request rest. Yeah, fake data, real response, always on. Here there is a different APIs. You just have to just click on this, you will get the API URL and response also it will print. Likewise, for the create user, you can use create. Okay, so create, send the content like post body, so you will get the response like this. But you cannot save see anywhere in the database because it's somewhere deployed on the cloud and dummy data. Okay guys, thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe and share with your friends.